Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Hamilton from Son of Celluloid back here at Days of the Dead, and we are talking to Mr. Hugh Ross. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome.
Hi.
Now, before we get into Nightbreed, which is actually, of course, the movie you're here talking about, early in your career, you did a movie that I have not seen called Killer's Moon.
Yes.
I really like Burt Shaw. I can't remember his last name at the moment.
Alan,
can you tell me something about working with him?
Well, it was kind of like, it was my first movie, so it was very exciting, and it was, I don't know, I actually just recently bought it on DVD, but it's come out in the UK on DVD.
Nice.
And it's a nice scene. I'm playing a kind of government official.
Okay.
And I remember him being a nice guy. I can't remember, it's a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But he was a nice guy. And is he still making movies?
He hasn't made something in a long time.
Okay.
I really love his House of Usher with Oliver Reed. Great movie.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
God, imagine you seeing Killer's Moon. Yeah.
Do you know if it's been released in America?
No, I don't know. I don't know whether... But certainly it has in the UK. It was in the UK, because I bought it quite recently.
Have to get the Region 2 release.
Yes, you will. You will.
Yes. Now, of course, Nightbreed, what initially attracted you to the role of Narcisse? Was it how it was on the page? Had you, were you familiar with Clive's work? How did you come into it?
Clive and I were old friends. I'd known him. Okay. I'd known him since he had his theatre company.
Okay.
And I knew, I would go and see their Doug and Simon stuff I saw in the shows. And Clive, one of Clive's many virtues is loyalty.
Okay.
And he was very loyal, and he came to see me in shows, and I did one particularly. I did this pantomime, which is Scottish, a British traditional thing, which is that everything's reversed. Men are women, women are men, blah blah blah.
All right.
And based on classic Cinderella, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Anyway, I played Mother Goose. And I think it was Mother Goose as much as anything else, perhaps, that gave Clive the idea that I might be all right to play Narcisse. Anyway, no, it's the thing about Narcisse is I'm always telling young actors about what we do is we do plays, we make plays, and playing.
Right.
Playing is important, and just having your imagination free and letting blah blah blah. And what was great about Narcisse was on the page was this wild character that you could just say, "My God, I could have fun playing this." Right. And Clive facilitated that by allowing a lot of freedom and stuff. So it was fantastic.
Cool. Now you mentioned Narcisse being kind of a wild character on the page. Like maybe the best dialogue in the movie is Narcisse's. How much of that was on the page, and how much of that was maybe ad-libbed?
I think about 30% of it was ad-libbed. I mean, various. I'm rather pleased at various lines like sailors and I love a coward. I think we've actually improvised on the set.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, Narcisse.
That's the case. I mean, when you get into a character like after we've been filming for a while, I knew what Narcisse was like, and it was just kind of like, and it was fun to improvise. Yeah.
Narcisse is actually my favorite makeup in the entire movie. It may not be one of the more elaborate monsters, but it's such a cool makeup. How long did that take, and what was wearing that one like?
I would be picked up from my flat in central London about 3:30 in the morning, taken to Pinewood, get there about 4:15 or something, and then be in the makeup chair. And Neil Gordon, who is absolutely top makeup man, did my makeup. And usually I was in the chair for 3.5 hours, 4 hours sometimes. And I couldn't eat. I mean, I couldn't eat through the makeup very easily. I remember that being a bore. But they were very nice. I mean, I didn't tend to have to do it every day. It was kind of like,
nice.
Sometimes I'd have maybe 2 days on the trip, but then I had a couple of days not to do it. And, And in fact, at this very weekend, somebody sent me a message on Facebook saying that Neil is demonstrating in London somewhere at a convention, the Narcisse makeup.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever had the urge to don it again?
No, I haven't, but I should try it, yeah. Somebody said, do you think you'll do any more? And I said, well, you'll be very old now, but quite fun being a very old, crotchety Narcisse.
That would be pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we all know what happened with the studio and the movie getting, cut all to hell. What was your reaction? When did you know that was going on? I mean, was it when you saw it? Or?
No, after we'd finished the movie. I can't remember how we found out. I think my agent perhaps found out that they'd done the test screenings in LA, and they'd studied the 20th Century Fox movie, studied the feedback, blah, blah. And they had decided that it wasn't working as it was. They wanted to change stuff. I, by this time, had gone off to wear my other hat, and I was in the Royal Shakespeare Company in Stratford-on-Avon. And for 3 consecutive Sundays, a car would pick me up after the show on a Saturday night, take me to Pinewood, and film all day Sunday on 3 days of enhancement shoots.
Okay.
And the great and flattering thing that happened was that one of the things they decided was that Narcisse shouldn't be extinguished at the end of the movie. So in the original cut, he was decapitated.
Right.
And so there was a new scene written where Aunt Craig and I, you'll find me and you'll need me, and on we go into hopefully Nightbreed 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah. Alas, no. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the characters definitely fare better in the Cabal Club. You do not.
I do not. I do not. No, I do not. Yeah.
Is there any particular thing in the movie that you're happy to see back that you really missed?
I think the storytelling, because I think that the powers that be interfering actually took away a lot of the narrative sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, I think that there's a strong narrative through the Cabal Cup, which is really good, and people can latch onto and really respond to.
Yeah. Now, have you been surprised by the groundswell of support for the whole Occupy Midian thing? Or
I mean, Russell Cherrington, who's been launched with the energy behind this being done is amazing, and it's only through Russell really that I've got involved in conventions, because I had been asked by somebody to do one before, and I couldn't do it, I don't think, for some reason, and then suddenly Nightbreed became kind of a bit of interest, and suddenly I was being announced. This is my first American convention this
Really?
weekend. Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Now, another movie that you've done that I was a big fan of was Bronson.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard that some of the family members had an issue with the portrayal of Uncle Jack at some point.
I didn't know that.
I had read that, but Bronson himself said, no, it's spot on. I loved it. Did you just take that straight off the page, or had you tried to figure out who the actual man was, or what?
And this was one of those weird things that happens that very nice casting, I don't know, that said, would I come and meet for Uncle Jack? And my agent said, wait till you see the scene. And the scene came through, and it said, enter Uncle Jack. He is a cross between an East End gangster and Noel Coward. And you think, where do you begin with that? How do you kind of get your head around that? So I kind of went in a little bit with, like I did with Nightbreed, kind of thinking, this is crazy, I'll never get this.
Right.
And of course, when you go in, and the jobs you go in thinking, please, and the sweat on the top of on your top lip, and you're desperate to get it, you never get. But the ones you kind of go in and think, this is such, wacky. And lo and behold, I was summoned to meet Nicholas Winding Refn, and went in a mad car ride with him. He's extraordinary, man. Really, really extraordinary. I really liked him a lot. And we were driving along and said, no, tell me, I love your eyes. I love your eyes. They blew like Henry Fonda in Once Upon a Time in the West. And so then we were driving this mad drive, and he says, I've got to make a call. So he gets on the call and rings the casting director. Des, I like Hugh. He's Uncle Jack. So I got the job. And it was again, it's amazing. I mean, I find lots and lots of people really respond to that movie big time. Now, it's such a weird scene, but it's great.
Yeah, the whole movie's excellent.
Yeah.
When you spoke to my buddy Brad on the Picking Brains podcast recently, you said that you still have the original King Rocker shirt.
I was wearing it yesterday and the day before.
I was going to ask you, was that the shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool. I didn't know if it was a replica or the original or what.
It has not been copied, but I mean, I was asked to photograph it a couple of years ago.
That thing's held up very well.
It has. It's been in a plastic bag in a drawer.
Okay.
Yes, I must go look at my other memorabilia, because one of these days I should flog them before I'm dead.
Right.
I've still got the shooting scripts and the call sheets and things like that somewhere.
Wow. So, probably someone out there will pay a fortune for that, probably.
Yeah.
Now, we're focusing on a couple of movies here, but you've, of course, had a very wide and varied career. Can you think of something that you think might be kind of an undiscovered gem in your filmography that doesn't get as much attention as Nightbreed or Bronson or something like that you think something really good and you wish more people would see?
Well, I did in 2007 a series for ITV called The Palace, which was based on loosely based on the royal family, and it it came out at a time of great. It was supposed to be what Downton Abbey has become.
All right.
And it was witty and quite funny, and didn't have a huge budget, but I had a fantastically good part in it,
cool.
Like this. And he was the Queen Mother. Everybody's not literally the royal family, but the Queen Mother figure.
Right.
Was played by Jane Asher. I don't know if you know. She's done lots of movies over the years. You'd know if you saw her.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but the Queen Mother famously had a very, very close relationship with her valet. And I'm really proud of because it wasn't a disaster, but there was a big revolution within ITV, and the series was it was commissioned. We were all optioned for 3 seasons and blah blah blah, and in fact it wasn't picked up. And I still think it's, Downton's fine, but I think in a way it has a sort of. I also have a theory that because it was about the royal family, people were a bit worried about it.
Right, kind of freaked them out a little bit.
And thought there was 2 brothers, one a good one a bit wild, blah, blah, blah.
The royal family suppressed it. That was the problem, right?
maybe it was. You never know what's going on upstairs. I don't know.
Be.
Anyway, that's The Palace.
Okay.
Available on Region 2 DVD.
Cool. Well, go on to somewhere in the UK and get the Amazon UK. You can probably get it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, check out The Palace. And, sir, I'd like to thank you very much for sitting here and talking to me today. And stick around on Son of Celluloid for more interviews from Days of the Dead.